on to South Africa then, where President Cyril Ramaphosa and Russian President Vladimir Putin held talks on returning South Africans lured into fighting for Russian forces in Ukraine. Well, the talks happened in the backdrop of South African government receiving distress calls from as many as 17 men who were trapped in the epicenter of the fighting in Ukraine's Donbas region last November. Well, these men were allegedly tricked into joining the mercenary forces. Ukraine's foreign minister back in November had alleged that more than 1,400 citizens from as many as 36 African countries had been identified among the Russian ranks. According to South African President's office, Ramaphosa and Putin pledged their support to the process of returning South Africans fighting alongside Russian forces in Ukraine. Also, Ramaphosa's office said that teams from both sides will continue their engagements towards finalization of the process. The daughter of South African former President Jacob Zuma is among several accused of recruiting men to join Russian mercenaries in the Ukraine war. Pretoria warned its citizens last year not to fall for recruitment scams after multiple social media influencers shared campaigns promising young women jobs in Russia-based program that has been accused of abuses. Our correspondent, Calden Ongmu, has sent us more details in this report from Johannesburg.
Finally, the family members of the 17 South African men who were lured to Russia for bodyguard training but was made to fight alongside Russian troops in Ukraine can have some hope. The families had made a direct plea to President Cyril Ramaphosa to intervene and bring the men back home who left South Africa in July last year. In a statement from the presidency, it was stated that President Ramaphosa and Russian President Vladimir Putin have pledged their support to process the returning of these South African men. It has been reported that the men are in dire state and they are being forced to continue fighting even after being injured and paralyzed. This is Calden Ongmu from Johannesburg, South Africa for WION The World is One.